You're live.
Hello everybody and welcome to Duck Week in the Tail Racing Ring Runners, the final round of our season in 2024. Season 8 is coming to a close here today with the final round. In case you don't know what Duck Week means, it's a random carp selected 30 minutes before the session opens on the final day of the season. And that is what decides our champion, with drivers unable to take one of their 3 drop rounds in today's race. Going to be very interesting indeed. Myself, Ian and Judge Parfitt will be with you for it. And we can reveal that because I've just realised that people watching this probably don't know, it's the Mazda MX-5 that will be racing here in the final round. And I am, James, very pleased about that.
Very, very interested indeed as well. I'm really looking forward to this. I think this could be a really good one and a good old ding-dong with the Mazda MX-5s. What more can we ask for taking place here? And exciting it will be.
It will be very exciting. So looking forward to it here tonight or this afternoon or whenever you're watching this. This is how the standings are going into this last round. And Rick Putnam, 24 points ahead of Corey Stas, basically just needs to complete 2 laps and finish the race, and he should be the champion. Corey Stas has got a big job to hold off Jason Hightower and Evan Crapwell, though those 3 separated by only 11 points, and Dave Mull's not that far behind either. Dave Hernandez is in 6th place ahead of Matt Green, Dean Diltz, Pat LeBros, Aaron Smith, Patrick Elgstrand and Ray Tew, rounding out the 12 drivers who've taken part in a race this season in the pros. Dan Kosick is leading the way in the AMs ahead of Scott Sadler. Tim Wiltshire a bit further back. It's really between the top 2 in the standings. It will be Chase Petterjohn and Dylan Hesselink rounding out the top 5, with Pat Mace, Alexander Bettas, Jamie Bender, Anthony Serino and Anthony Solomon rounding out the top 10. You can see the rest of them on your screen down towards the bottom. They've only been at a couple of races so far. Evan Crutchfield has taken the pole position here at Duck Week, ahead of Jason Hightower by a second or so. Rick Putnam was not too far behind, and Dan Kosick has taken an important pole position in the AM qualifying session. It was Dave Mull and Corey Stas on rows 3, ahead of Scott Sadler and Alexander Bettas. Chase Petterjohn was the final driver to set a time. Dean Diltz didn't get one in. Stephen Johnson is 11th, ahead of Valencia, who's making his debut in the final round of the season, and Dylan Hesselink, who's at the back of the field in 13th. So already in the AM Championship battle, Kosick with a small advantage over Scott Sadler because of his better lap time. He's ahead by 4 positions or so already before we've even started this race.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very interested in the championship. I'd like to see how this one pans out for these AMs. I think Kosick has been consistently up there all season long, and I think Sadler's come up at him over the last few races, and I think this MX-5 could be a very, very interesting one indeed.
I am looking forward to it a lot. So apologies if you can hear the phone ringing in the background.
It's all right, we didn't, but we do now.
Okay, yeah, fine. I hope so. Into the final corners they go. Hightower versus Crutchfield, one of the 2 best drivers, or 2 of the best 2 drivers, I should say, on the season so far, with Rick Putnam, championship leader, just in behind them as well. As we go through the final corner, Evan Crutchfield gets us underway pretty much immediately. Onto the North Cypher. In towards turn 1 they go, and Crutchfield does indeed take the lead. It's a job for Hightower to hold on from Putnam, and he does. That's Dan Kosick in 4th place. He's trying not to get swamped by the other pros who are right behind him. Dave Mull and Corey Stas trying to overtake him immediately.
Yeah, great start from Rick Putnam and Evan Crutchfield and Jason Hightower. It's going to be seeing whether or not Kosick here on your screen can hold on to this and what Sadler is going to be able to do behind him. He's got a lot of work at Sadler. Let's see how far he can get and whether or not he can get anywhere, to be blatantly honest, with Kosick just up the road. But yeah, great little run so far for Evan Crutchfield. We'll see how he gets on. And Jason Hightower is not too far behind.
No, he's certainly not. Up the hill they go. Hightower right in behind Crutchfield here up the hill. These cars really do benefit from the slipstream. So if you can stay in there, then you are in the money. And that might well go on for about 4 laps, by the way. Dean Diltz has just gotten through on Alexander Bettas, who must have been pushed wide because Chase Petterjohn's going back through. But here goes Hightower coming through on the right-hand side here. Putnam's going to be very close as well. Where's he going to go? You wouldn't imagine with the championship on the line. He's going to try something, but he is. Oh, goodness me. He's following Hightower through. On the outside he goes, through Schredenkreuz, then down into Arenberg. Is Hightower going to get the position here? Or is Kramer going to hold on to his lead? He's still around the outside, he's still holding on. Oh, what a great battle this is down the hill after Arenberg through the Foxtrot now. It's going to be Kramer with the speed on the exit, and he's going to get back through again from Jason Hightower. Then it's Putnam, then it's Dan Kosick, who is just joining them in 4th place.
Yeah, he's pulled away already. Kosick opened up a little bit of a gap to Stas. It was out at 1.2 seconds at one point. Looks like Batashin and Falasinho have had an incident and have unfortunately had to jump back to the pits for Batash on that one. Then we've got Stephen Johnson's also been off the side of the circuit currently at this moment in time. But Evan Krautfeld, Jason Hightower, Rick Putnam, Dan Kosick, all of them not too far away. And more importantly, Scott Sadler's in there as well.
Exactly. The problem for Sadler, I think, is that Stas and Mull are in between he and Kosick, and that means that drivers who are not necessarily in his battle and who are ahead of him right now are having a say in the AM Championship battle, and that's going to be a problem for Sadler. If Stas and Mull lose the slipstream of Kosick, then Sadler will be caught behind a break in the group that he doesn't really have control over, as is what happened in the opening part of the race. But thankfully for him, into Adnar first, Stas was able to really get late on the brakes and get back onto Dan Kosick again, so we do have 7 in the lead again.
Yeah, vitally important they hold the draft in these cars. I think that's the thing. They can literally make or break with that situation. As I say, for Sadler at the moment, he cannot afford to lose Dave Mole. He needs Dave Mole. He has to have Dave Mole, because if he doesn't, that draft's going to be gone. He's got to stay close, coming up through into Bergwerk as well to get that run up the hill into the carousel section, because otherwise he's going to really struggle. He's going to be around about 8 to 9 tenths, maybe he'll start catching the draft. 1.1 though is going to be a bit of a push for him.
He just smacked the curb there at Exmuller, the right-hander there that takes your run all the way up here to Bergwerk, so he could be in trouble. He could be requiring a bit of a battle, but he might get one, to be honest. Out of Bergwerk they go, and in towards Kesselchen. Evan Krautfeld is going to be under pressure for his race lead all over again here as we go on board with Rick Putnam. Surprised me if he was going to be on the way towards Schredenkreuz on this opening lap, and so he is clearly up for a fight, even though he is in championship winning position already. Up into Kesselchen they go, right round the outside, and again he's going to do the same thing. Hit watch for the bump, there it goes. Hightower going to be bumped up the hill now, and surely Krautfeld's not going to have anything to answer with now. Up the hill they go into the muck curve. Surely Hightower's going to be through, but he's got a long way round. He's still on the right hand side, and Krautfeld's got some great speed on the outside. How he's held on there, I don't really know. Down the inside he goes though, and through back on Jason Hightower. Putnam tries to overtake the driver he was just pushing a few moments ago, and so he's on the outside line now. They rub, and now towards the Stelstrecker, it's going to be Putnam on the outside line, and that should allow Hightower to hang on, but Putnam squeezes him right round the outside, and now they're side by side before the carousel. Surely somebody's going to have to yield here, and that somebody's going to have to be Jason Hightower, and he does lift off. In the background, not lifting off, there is Dan Kosick, who's up high. Oh, and so is Evan Krautfeld. He's missed the banking. Kosick misses it too. Both of the leaders in both classes have gone wide, and Scott Sadler's now in the slipstream of Dan Kosick.
Yeah, vital for Sadler that happened in a way. You don't want to bring bad luck on people, but Sadler was well struggling. He was like 1.5, 1.6 back. Now Kosick's got to look at trying to escape as well from Sadler. Sadler needs to hold on to this. I don't know what he's got to do. He's certain points he's looking quick, other points he's not looking too fast. So at the moment he's got to try and allow that run of that machine and try and hold on, because otherwise Dan Kosick's going to be up the road. Sadler's going to be in the same position he was a minute ago. Putnam out in front, Hightower and Krautfeld. You're 1, 2, 3 with Corey Stas in 4th, dropping Dave Mole.
So it is 4 for the lead as things stand. Putnam, Hightower, Krautfeld, and all the top 4 in the championship. Dave Mole's 5th in the championship, and he's 5th in this race, but he is a bit adrift. Trying to break the slipstream by the looks of things here. He's just getting half a second, I should say, over Hightower, but it's not enough. And again, the problem with this MX-5, in terms of if you're leading, is that round every corner almost, there's a short straight where those behind you can get slipstream and regain some of the losses that they might have had through the previous corners.
Yeah, that's the problem here. The slipstream is so strong. And I've been in MX5 races before, and literally, you know, I've been so far ahead of somebody, and then you go and make a mistake, or you slide it once, and literally they're right up behind you again. It's very, very tricky indeed to try and break away, because you can sit there and go, I know I'm quicker, but I just can't get away from it. And that's the problem with it. He's probably going to be quicker, but they're going to utilize the draft like nobody's business.
And it doesn't really even need it at this stage. Hightower is so close behind anyway. That's a great run from all of them through the small carousel. By the way, Sadler and Dean Diltz have got Somerson. Sadler's in the wall in the background. Sadler was dived there, I think, by Dean Diltz, and there you have it. That could be the championship in the AMS, I'm afraid. Scott Sadler's up in the wall in the outside line, and he will be a long way behind Dan Kosick now. Let's have a look, though, at this leading fight. Curry Stas did not get a good run through Gaumenkopf, and instead of making it free wide, Kratwell pushes Hightower to the lead. So Putnam's third immediately, and he tries to grab the slipstream now. He does pull back in and get it, but look at this. Kratwell and Hightower pushing with one another, although Putnam gaining again. Back in the double slipstream. Stas is in the triple slipstream, so he's getting closer. And now Kratwell goes for it. Is Putnam going to do it as well? 3 wide under the Bilstein Bridge here on the opening lap of this race. Here goes Putnam to the outside, and is he going to get back to the lead again? It's certainly not going to be Hightower leading at the end of the lap. Will it be Kratwell or Putnam, though? Into the Tiergarten they go. Outside line for Kratwell. He breaks kind of late round the outside. That's a fantastic move if he can pull it off. Outside line, the final corner here. Just imagine if this was the last lap. Out over the line they go, and Kratwell leads the opening lap. Hightower's come back through again. Putnam's on the outside line. Stas is not looking to push the issue here by the looks of things. It's still side by side for second. Is this Evan Kratwell's chance to run away?
Well, we're going to find out, aren't we? But they've got a run coming up very, very shortly as well. So it's going to be interesting on that run down into Arenberg, how these guys all handle this at the moment. They know Kratwell's going to try and escape. They've got a right coming up now. Now they've got another right. Then they've got a left. Then they've got a right again. And then it's on the run out, isn't it? All the way down now for them to be able to close in again, because that's what they need. You can see Mole is losing, well, he's 2 seconds back, 1.2 to Kosick behind that, who's got Diltz tucked in. Sadler's over 9 seconds back, and it's a bit dramatic for Sadler at the moment. He's got to make a decision. Do we go into the pits, get the damage repaired, and come back out and hopefully not lose any time, because it is obviously just the Nords, so it is quite a short pit lane, so it's possible. But at the moment, he's 9.3 and he didn't go into the pit lane.
That might be that for the AM Championship, unfortunately for Scott Sadler, as he looks to the outside now. Just Jason Hightower, we're on board with him, but Putnam's still getting the slipstream. Oh, and he very nearly comes across us there. Instead, he lifts to the outside. Look at the speed from Stas. He comes through on the left-hand side, flying through at Shredden. In towards Arenberg they go, and Rick Putnam's in the lead. That was a good overtake. Down the inside he went and through on Kratwell, who now loses the lead. One of the first times that's happened all day, by the way. Qualified on poles, Kratwell, and he led into the opening lap as well. He's done a good job of leading so far, but he is now in second. Putnam leads towards Adnan Fast, but Kratwell's coming back again. What a race we're getting so far, and he's back in the lead again. The pole sitter restoring his first place again.
Yeah, Kratfeld's back through. This is going to be the theme, I think, for the next 2 laps. I think this is going to be continually what we're looking at. Dave Mole has been dragged in to Diltz. Diltz and Kosick has cleared. Diltz has cleared Kosick. So Diltz is moving his way forward. So we've got a 4 and a 3, and we've got Sadler driving around on his own with damage. I think you probably might have wanted to go into the pit lane, but it's literally a bit dramatic going on. We've got a 4-pack, a 3-pack, Sadler 10 seconds back, and this is just going to be continuing. This is going to be, I wouldn't be surprised if we see 4 wide on the final lap.
Yeah, to be honest, we could see that very much. But, you know, there is a long way to go. And also, you've got to remember that actually this circuit is quite dangerous for going side by side in places. And so I just wonder that over the course of a half-an-hour race, which this is going to be for 4 laps at the Nordschleife, are we going to see just one moment, one lapse in concentration from somebody, one small mistake from somebody, and is this going to end in a big crash? I hope not. However, you've just got to consider that this is a difficult circuit to battle on for half an hour like they're doing at the moment.
Yeah, it is. And that's the problem, isn't it? It's so tough. at times, this circuit. We've seen this all season. We've seen the struggles all season. And at the end of the day, oh, Crapville, big old slide there on the run down into Arenberg now. And here we go again. Could be a 3-4 wide situation going up the hill.
Side by side between Hightower and Stas in towards Bergvik. They've got to be a bit careful that they don't see this leading group split in two, and Stas realises that on the outside, breaks a bit early. He knows that if he does that, he can get, not only can he get the run actually on the way towards Kesselgen here, but also he can just make sure that this front group is maintained. Hightower closes in now to Rick Putnam, who is closing in on a Crapwood. In the meantime, Putnam has been quite good at pushing people so far, but will Hightower do the same and return the favour? Because last time round it was these two the other way round, and no, he doesn't return the favour. He makes it 3 wide after Kesselsen. Towards the moot curve they go, and they're absolutely on the limit here. Crapwood, I think, just lifted off and thought, I don't really want any part of this. Stas jumps round the inside of him though, in towards the moot curve. It's going to be Jason Hightower leading, is it? Oh, there's contact, and that's what I mean about it being dangerous going side by side like this. Very close to a big moment there.
Boom!
As Putnam, gets a big slide now, and he's going to be surely demoted to second. He certainly is. If Stas can stay here, then he might be able to get down the inside of the carousel of Crapwood, but no. Hightower now leads after a 3 wide moment on one of the narrower parts of this circuit.
I thought that was it. As soon as Putnam got that little bit of contact, I thought he was just coming straight across the racetrack. We've seen it so many times. Slightest little bit of hit on a car that's at full speed under draft, and you loosen the back end and around you go. I thought that was done and dusted, but boy oh boy, Putnam held on, and the group behind is also getting into the mix. Dave Mull, Diltz and Kosick are still fighting it out. Sadler's dropping 15 seconds. He's actually closing. He's closer to Pettijohn now than he is the group in front, so I think he could be done on this, but we'll have to see if Dan Kosick can get to the end.
Let's see on that front as we follow this leading battle again. What a great battle it's been so far. Oh, that could be it. This could be the moment. Putnam goes wide. Does Crapwood try and force the issue? Oh, not really. So the gap extends to 6-7 tenths of a second. This is one of the better chances that Jason Hightower is going to have all day to break the slipstream.
Yeah, he will, but he won't be able to. He won't be able to. He can't make up. He's got to be out. Well, I think 1.2, maybe 1.3 to even remotely try and stop them. And I just don't think that's in Hightower over this last section to do it. And let's not forget, it's quite a high speed section. That's the problem. So these guys are utilising this draft. They're closing in. You can see it's already come down below 7 tenths. Every little bit of straight every little bit that Putnam comes slotting behind Hightower pulls him closer. And that's the problem. This high speed section doesn't do Hightower any good.
No, and also Putnam's got 2 pushes behind, so this could be very difficult indeed to work your way away from the group, but that's good for us, to be honest. I want to see this battle go right the way to the very end. It's been very entertaining so far. It's a good view on board with Corey Stas here as well, to just see what he's doing, because he's just sort of watching this group from behind, seeing what they do and reacting to it as well. But I mean, is he going to make it 4 wide on lap 2? I can't see it personally. I think he'll just stay behind and watch.
Well, he's just lost a lot of time through Kleins. I can tell you that much. Coming in through Galgenkopf now, through the right-hander. He's got to close up. This will give us a rough idea on how far and how strong the draft is. 9 tenths. Oh, he is on the edge of draft. Literally, you can see it's just flickering up where the other 3 are going together. You can see now it's out at a second. He's lost the draft, but look at what's going on front with Corey Stas and Evan Krautfeld and Rick Putnam. They carry on fighting. It ain't going to be long till he's there. Putnam's just about to try and send it 3 wide. Slots in behind again on the run down the Dottinger now. It is 3 wide. That's what we're looking at. Krautfeld in the middle, Hightower on the left, and then we got Putnam on the right hand side. Putnam looks like he's just about to go through.
Because they're not drafting one another anymore, Stas does get the draft back again. I'm sure they're going to slow each other down into the Tiergarten, so he will be back in the game. But that was a close moment for him. That was a really close one. In towards Tiergarten, Putnam goes round the outside. Is he going to lead the second lap of this race? It very much looks like it. And yes, he will. So that's the line there. And just worth noting, actually, for the end of this race, the line comes very soon after the final corner. You want to be leading, really. There's going to be no last corner passes, I don't think, because the line is basically on that corner. You can't really pass through the final corner, so that's worth bearing in mind. But Stas is back in the game. Kravard lost a bit of time in that Tiergarten section, actually, and so he's got a bit of catching up to do, but I'm sure he will do, from third place back to the two leaders.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing with this track. As you say, you literally go around the corner, the line's there. And I don't mean like 10 metres up the road, I mean it's right there. So on the final lap, you've got to be in front and trying to hold that line, or definitely on the inside, if nothing else, to try and get the shortest run to the line. So still all to play for here with these four. And you can see Marlon Dilt slowly edging away from Kosick in the background. Sadler is again close to the Pettijohn, 1.2 seconds, where he was about 3.1 just on the last lap.
Look at this again. Towards Swedenkreuz, it's going to be very interesting indeed. Before Kratler could get alongside Hightower moves alongside Putnam. Oh, don't force it 3 wide, surely. Oh, that very nearly caused a monumental crash. And here goes Stas. He knows that this is his chance to get embedded within the group. He spent a lot of this race in 4th place so far. Now he's with the two leaders, Hightower and Putnam. Side by side, Putnam around the outside, it's going to slide! Oh, he saves it through Arenberg, but he's going to have a terrible run now down the hill. And surely, Corey Stas is going to be able to work his way past here. Side by side down the Fox Row they go. And Kratwald's chosen Stas to push on the way towards Adenauer Force. Look at this, Putnam's going backwards here. Although, he's still side by side, up over the top of the hill here. They've got to be careful. And he just backs out to Corey Stas. Rick Putnam holds on to 2nd place.
I think you run a line as long as you can until your bravery cuts out. And I think that was the problem with Stas there. He ran that line for as long as he could and knew if he went into that left-hander, he was going to be in deep trouble, especially if he was going to be side by side. So unfortunately for him, and fortunately for us, really, he backed out. But now Krautfeld side by side as well. Krautfeld's going to run a little bit wide. He takes the position. Stas holds on to that 3rd. Dave Moe is under attack from Dean Diltz. They have swapped positions a couple of times, but Dave Moe's still in 5th place at the moment. Dilt's 6th. Kosick still 7th, so doesn't really, for Dan Kosick, need to do a lot apart from stay where he is. But Jason Hightower hanging on to that lead at the moment, with Rick Putnam in behind, Stas and then Krautfeld at the end.
I don't see why that battle for 5th place don't just work together, to be honest, and try and get in this leading group, because I reckon that these 4 are fighting so hard that if those 3 behind got working together and just bump drafted each other on the straights where you can, instead of fighting side by side like they are for 5th place, I reckon they could be in this leading group. But they're doing it again, although I think that's because Muller's made a mistake, actually. And so all of that is kind of obsolete now, because there's been an error through the siphon for Dave Mull. But nevertheless, I don't see why they weren't working together before, to be honest.
Because they're racers, and that's not what they do. Currently, is it? Let's be real. We've seen it multiple times that racers don't like racing together unless they can really have to. But they were always going to do that. As much as me and you would love to see them side by side and closing the gap, they were never going to do that. That was asking, for next week's lottery numbers.
Apparently so. I don't think it's that unreasonable. But
you may not. But
anyway,
they're racing drivers.
They're going to do it. So there we go. Kravard pushes Stas, meanwhile. So they're doing it here. So Putnam is going to get alongside Hightower in the meantime. But what does Stas do? Does he just lift off and try and help someone here? Or does he try and make up his own places? He is going to get alongside Hightower, actually, who has been drafted past by Putnam. And Stas is trying to get past him as well here. Putnam just slides in front of Hightower there. Well, not decisively. He is in the lead though, Putnam, and now Hightower and Stas go side by side. Here goes Kratman as well. Oh, careful, free wide. He's gone wrong. Gone wrong spectacularly. We said it would happen at some stage, and unfortunately, Jackson Hightower and Corey Stas are off the road and in the wall together here. And Kosick and Dilt slowed down. Kosick there slowed down way more than he needed to, but of course, he's got a championship to think about. He does not want to get involved in that. We said it might happen at some point, and unfortunately, it has.
Yeah.
Oh,
Stas is broke rapidly. He's had to jump back to pit lane for Corey Stas. Now Rick Putnam, Evan Croughfield, Dilts, Mole, Cossack, Sadler. Sadler's opened up more of a gap over Pettyjohn there. I'm not quite sure if Chase Pettyjohn, it does look like he's had an incident on lap number 3, but Putnam and Croughfield got away with that one.
That's a real shame, isn't it? That is a real shame. I was thoroughly enjoying that 4-car battle for the lead, I've got to be honest, and it has come undone. We will have a look again at the end of the race at that incident. Jason Hightower, though, and Corey Stas both have a lot of damage. I mean, we saw Stas on board there, and indeed off board. His rear left suspension, I should say, was completely destroyed there, and he couldn't get that even back to the pit lane, so had to tow back. And unfortunately, that's going to be the end of their race. Now, that might well mean, by the way, Evan Croughfield vaults over them both in the championship into second. So, starting the day, Croughfield was 11 points behind Stas and 10 behind Hightower. He's nearly gaining that amount in purely race points. Never mind accounting for the fact that he's got a point already in the bank, has Croughfield, for leading a lap, and indeed if he gets the fastest race lap, then he will be absolutely in that position, although he hasn't got that just for the moment. That's going to Rick Putnam, so it's a good position for Croughfield to be in. He might well be moving up to second in the championship.
Yeah, I think it possibly could be, to be blatantly honest, as well. We'll have to see how it comes out with all the scores, the bonus points, and everything else gets added. Mole made a mistake a little bit earlier on in the lap, lost a little bit of time. He's managing to close in now. Croughfield and Putnam, well, they're near enough, side by side, coming into Kleins here, and at the moment, I don't know if Croughfield's in the better place or Putnam's in the better place, but we'll see when they go into the Dottingham how close Croughfield is. He needs to have a run. He can't be tucked up right behind him, because if he pulls out, A, he probably will overtake him, and B, Putnam's probably going to come back at him. So still all to play for here at the end of lap 3.
Yeah, will Croughfield just keep Putnam ahead of him for an entire lap here until we get to this stage on the final lap? That could be a strategy. In towards the Nottingham they go. Now, what does he do? We know that it's probably ideal to push the driver ahead of you at least for halfway down the straight, but we saw this earlier, pushing for the first bit, and then you pull out just as the road stops going downhill, and you just plunge uphill as you go past the sort of tourist pit lane on the right-hand side here. Now you can see, now it pitches up. Now, does Croughfield go, or does he continue to push? There's your answer. Under the bridge, he wants to keep second for now. Oh no, he's leaving it late. Well, I think this is maybe slightly too late, but let's see if he can get through. It looks like he will have enough time in this straight yet left to get through. Wouldn't have left it that late personally, but he's done it anyway. Round the outside through the Tiergarten, and those two are going to remain single file. They don't want to interfere with each other. Here comes the battle for third place. All of a sudden, there's an overall podium on the line here. Dave Mull, Dean Dilts, and Dan Cossack all racing their way into the Tiergarten. And Mull takes third place for now, ahead of Cossack, who's back into fourth. And then Dean Dilts, though Cossack goes quite wide and slides his way around and, well, hangs on to fourth place. But there's your battle for third place now. The biggest group on the circuit now, this one for third.
I wonder what Putnam's going to do here. Because he's got a couple of opportunities, hasn't he, to try and make the overtake. And I wonder if he will, or I wonder if he'll just sit there. In an ideal scenario, we would like him just to sit there till the Dottingham, and then it's going to be a straight run. And I wonder if Putnam's thinking the same, because he's got the run down to Arenberg that he could have a go. He's got the run up into the carousel that he could have a go. Or does he decide, actually, I'm not going to, I'm just going to sit there?
By the way, I wouldn't like to see him sit behind, by the way. I want to see them race like idiots. But
well, yes, I'm not saying I wouldn't have enjoyed that, and I've seen a lot of that already this morning,
yeah.
But I'm just saying that I wonder whether or not he's going to be that idiot that we want him to be, or whether or not he's going to be a little bit smarter than me and you. I say that nicely, of course.
I don't mean no, it's fine. I don't mean race like idiots as in to crash into each other. I mean just it's a bit of an idiotic thing to do to race side by side all the way around the circuit, in my opinion. So there you go. Yeah, oh yeah, entertaining. That's what we want to see. As I say, by the way, Hightower and Stas seem to have had exactly the same repair time. They're out to. Oh no, Stas is not out just yet. He's a few seconds behind, but that's quite bizarre actually. Hightower then and Stas are, 10th and 11th.
Quite
that
far
would
away.
put them. It is quite far away. I'm trying to work out whether that would be enough for Crapwell to get over them in the championship or not. That's pretty difficult to work out at the moment, I've got to say. They've certainly not got no incident points to their name. Maybe Crapwell will, but I'm not entirely sure, to be honest, because, as I say, we don't get the contact incident points, only off tracks. And there's been any number of bump drafting. Sometimes that can give you a 4x, sometimes it can get you a 0x. Just don't know at the moment.
Yeah, that's the problem, I think, as well. If you bump and spin the person, but then again, I've done it in NASCAR where I hit somebody a bit too hard, although it was straight and there wasn't any dramas, and he kept going. After me bumping him, I ended up with a 4x. So it's a little bit of a tricky way. But then again, I suppose, to be honest, I was at Dega and I literally did come to around turn 3 and absolutely bumped him because I wasn't expecting him to be so slow under the draft. So I ended up with a 4x. So and we know this system could be a funny old game. We know that. Me and you have seen enough broadcasts to last us a lifetime, and we've seen, internet issues, we've seen everything, and people reappearing. So I don't really know if Evan Crautfield, although he's on 0 off tracks by what I can see, whether or not it would be a 0 or 4 or 2 on incidents.
We will find out at the end, I suppose. The results, by the way, as we record this, aren't actually in yet. So, and the standings. So we're not going to really be able to tell you after this race either, to be honest. But anyway, that's besides the point. We'll try and work it out. But I think if Crapwell hasn't got 0 incident points, I don't think he's gaining enough points at the moment on Hightower and Stas to overtake them. By the way, I also think that Stas and Hightower might well be even on points at the end of the day if things stay as they are. I'll check that, of course, but because Stas has got the fastest lap currently, but I reckon Hightower led a lap, didn't he? So it could get quite complicated. If they do end up tied on points, though, the tiebreaker would go to Hightower, who has won 3 races this season, don't forget, and 2 in the last 5 rounds in the Porsche Cups and the Pro Masters. So he would win a tiebreaker if they end up tied. I suspect it is going to him at the moment, Hightower. That's second place in the championship. I reckon he will get ahead of Corey Stas, but I don't know for sure. And Crapwell is going to be very close behind. One thing that is for sure, though, is that Putnam, whether he wins this race or finishes in second, or worse indeed, he is going to be the champion. Came into today 24 points ahead of Corey Stas, and with 2 of his main rivals now down 10th and 11th, it's certainly confirmed that he will be the champion, even though it was pretty certain anyway.
Yeah, it was definitely on that one. I think it was looking at Corey Stas. Rick Putnam was going to take this and wrap this one up. Stas had a big, tall order there as well.
We will continue on. Final lap of this race and final time up to the highest point on the Nordschleife in Season 8 of the Tail Racing Ring Runners. It's been a fantastic duck week. The Mazda MX-5s providing the action here on the Nordschleife, and we're left with just 2. Rick Putnam and Evan Crautfield, one reigning champion, one champion in waiting of this series. And what a battle it could be right the way down to the very end. Unlike all of the other laps of this run, we've seen the driver in second place or further behind, staying in the slipstream in the leading group. Beforehand, it was quite fantastic side-by-side racing pretty much all lap. But Crautfield has decided second place is where I want to be going into Gowincott for the final time. If he can get that run, if he can time his run down the hill after the Bilstein Bridge, then he will be okay, and he should be in the lead of this race at the very end. Let's see though if he can take a race victory for the first time this season. It's quite bizarre for Crautfield, really. 4 podiums this season, however, no podiums in the last 7 rounds, and he is certainly going to get one now. Is he going to get the win though? Putnam goes wide, goes off. I'm not sure Crautfield is in the best position now, to be honest, because he's leading the race, but is he going to hold on here in the final moments?
Well, he's got to make sure he can nail the next complex, because at the moment he's only 6 tenths back from him. Left-hand side, you want to be over that dip because that's the shortest route and the lowest bump that will kick you off. But Putnam's closing back in. Now this is all on Putnam now. He's got the opportunity. He can sit there and literally have a go. We now know Putnam hasn't got a 0x. He's got off tracks as well. But it's all what's going to happen to Crautfield coming through the left-hander into Kleins here. And it's all going to be on what Putnam chooses to do. Crautfield's just got to drive drive, because that's all he can do. He's not dictating where he puts Putnam. Putnam will dictate to him on a very wide straight.
I think we'll be hoping that Putnam comes past so early that he can draft on the back of him and come back past again. But I think this is looking difficult for
he's slowed up.
Evan Crowell, I'm afraid. Look at that. Maybe he's tried to get that run badly. And look at this. Is he even lifting off on the straight here? This is very interesting. Neither of them want to lead right now.
He is. Surely he should be in 6th gear.
And on the brakes. And here he goes. Does Putnam go for it? Just as Crowell slows dramatically. Here he goes. Putnam might have just stolen the march on him there. Can he come back in the slipstream though here, Evan Crowell? He's just balancing the books now. He's just getting back on terms. He's gaining now. He's gone from losing time to gaining it back in the slipstream again. Has his games on the back straight worked? Is he going to win the final race of the season? It looks like he might well do. He gets through into the Tiergarten. He's got himself ahead. Does Putnam decide to make a dive? He can't really do it. And Crowell looks like he's going to take this unless Putnam makes a big dive down the inside of the final corner. And he certainly won't. Evan Crowell's games on the final straight of this race has got him the win ahead of Rick Putnam. As fully behind, Dave Mull finds the wall in a battle with Dean Dilts for the final podium of the season. It's Dean Dilts who gets it ahead of AM race winner and AM championship winner Dan Kostick in 4th.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I like them games, especially the lifting. That could have been so much worse. I don't know. It's got a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth from that one. I don't. Yeah, I'm not an advocate for that.
I didn't mind it personally, but because what else are you going to do to try and win?
But Putnam ended up down in 4th gear. He was that slow, and
Stas nearly drove straight into the side of Hightower there as he was trying to tuck back in the slipstream again. He pulled out at a pretty inopportune moment. And, they're absolutely locked together now. If Stas finishes ahead of him, by the way, it's pretty much confirmed that he would finish ahead of him and therefore second in the championship. So this could be quite important for Corey Stas to hang on to that runners-up spot, if possible. From Hightower, side by side down the hill they go into the final corners. Absolutely locked together here, these two, in this battle for 10th place. Contact down the inside. Hightower trying to sneak his way through, and they've made contact for the second time today. Hightower will come out the other side with 10th, and Stas might not even get to the line here. Stuck.
Dearie me. I don't really know what to say.
This is annoying, isn't it?
Unless Batash is going to come and give Stas a good old kiss through and try and get him to the end, I don't really know. Once you can understand in a race, but twice.
He's worked out going backwards is easier. So is he going to reverse? Not really. This is difficult, isn't it? He got to figure it out before he loses the place. But even so, this is. Oh dear.
He can't get that finished. He can't.
He had a bit of momentum in him a second ago, but then he reversed and he's lost it all. He's going to blow his engine up if he's not careful. And there you go. He retires back to pit lane. Corey Stas will finish 12th. That should give Jason Hightower second in the championship now, but a controversial end for those two, and a couple of incidents as well that the stewards might well have a look at the end of the season.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, isn't it? There's, stewards incidents and stuff like that they will have to deal with because, I don't know, not great.
We'll have a look at the incidents, of course, in the moment, but Alexander Betash first has got to come over the line. What we haven't really spoken about so far, though, is that Rick Putnam has indeed been crowned the champion. We knew that was pretty much confirmed, although not mathematically at the start of the day. It was a championship finale in the pro standings, but Putnam's done a great job, and I think most of the lead that he's gained has been made in the first half of the season, in that period of the season where he won 4 races in just 5 weeks, and between rounds 2 and 6 that was in the first half. That's really what won him this championship.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I think, you know, the Audi 90 win, the F4, the P217, the mini stocks. Then he had the GT4s where he was second. He missed the first round, let's not forget, and still managed to come through and take the victory. So fair play to Rick Putnam. He's done an absolute stellar job.
It certainly has. And on this occasion, doesn't quite take the win. Emmett Krautwald wins by just 0.3 of a second ahead of Rick Putnam. Dean Dilts wins that battle for third ahead of Dan Cosick and Dave Mull. With Scott Sadler disappointed in sixth, he will not be the AM champion this season. It's Chase Petterjohn who finishes in 7th place, third in AM, ahead of Dylan Hessling. Asensio in 8th and 9th. Then it's Jason Hightower who does get in that 10th place and maybe second in the championship as well. Alexander Bettas finished at 11th. Corey Stas agonisingly couldn't quite get to the end. Stephen Johnson retired after just one lap. So that is it for the Tail Racing Ring Runners this season, but some replays to look through first before we go. This was a pass, I think, on the opening lap. Yeah, so there was pass. Dear, oh dear. Stephen Johnson got absolutely smacked there. There was a pass going on. Dean Dilts was passing Alexander Bettas, I think, is what started all that off. And it was Bettas who got really loose there, and Johnson had nowhere to go.
Yeah, nowhere for him to go there as well. Not sure what Val did after this, whether or not he came around the corner and they were... Oh, Bettas, where you going? Where you going? He's got to try and get through. Yeah, Stephen Johnson went off a little bit further down. That's partly due to a Robin Reliant.
Absolutely ruined there. Dear, oh dear. Oh dear. Look at... Oh no. That car was never getting home.
No, never in a month for Sundays. So unfortunately for him. Chase Petterjohn. It's the moment after in the Christmas light. MX-5 had himself a little bit of an issue. Round he goes onto the curb and in the wall, unfortunately for Chase. So not good. Scott Sadler had a little bit of an off-track moment in lap 1. That was him just running slightly wide, so nothing dramatic for Mr. Sadler on that time around. And then going in, unfortunately.
And that's what did for his season, really. That mistake there is what did for his season. I think the odds were still stacked against him, to be honest, against Dan Cosick, but even so, that's what confirmed it, really. And you can see the damage there. He didn't decide to pit. He was clearly suffering with that damage for the remainder of the race, and a bit more here as well.
Yeah, I think he should have gone in. I personally think he should have gone in and at the end of that.
He made a difference in the end.
No, but he might have just been able to be a little bit more comfortable. This is Stephen Johnson after going back to pit lane. Oh, that was weird. And then...
That was a snap.
Yeah, what was going on in his cockpit?
Very often in this car.
No, what just...
Down to third probably wasn't a great idea. But yeah, you really don't see it snap like... That's a GR86 kind of spin, that is.
Yeah, but obviously if he snapped the car around at the same time, it's going to be a little bit... Or tried changing down, it's going to be a problem. Dave Moll's moment, of course. Here as well. Dave said he likes to watch it back and see what mistakes we catch. Well, unfortunately, Dave.
Well, there's one of yours.
That one as well. And there's a couple more that come on after that. In the middle of this, Chase Petterjohn had another moment. So while this was going on, Chase did this.
Is that... Oh, sorry, I thought we were seeing the replay for the second time. No, he just made the same mistake.
Yeah, basically, Dave Moll went off track and Chase Petterjohn did that in between it. Dylan Hesselink had a bit of a rough one. Didn't really see much of Dylan tonight. But he had made a couple of mistakes, ran wide, just manages to scrape the wall. And then he has another one a little bit further down. This is with Chase Petterjohn. Oh, that's a curb on the left-hand side coming out of Burberg, isn't it? There you go.
He's already damaged from the first scrape in the wall. And there's a second one. So eventually he would finish in 8th place. This was the sort of race-defining moment, really. 3 wide down the hill here. And
loops him.
I don't know. It's difficult, very difficult to tell what's going on there, really, in terms of who is at fault. For me, Hightower is coming across on Stas there. I think Stas is pinned right to the right-hand side. Can't really go any further until he's in the grass. And Hightower continues coming across him there, and they both end up in the wall.
Yeah, and I think that was the thing. And then Corey well, we saw a little bit later on, he spun the car around and...
Look at the rear right.
Oh, it's broke. Oh, dude, it's absolutely damaged to an end here. Putnam had a short moment off the race circuit. I don't think it was very long. I think he just ran slightly wide. There you go.
This is where he lost the lead.
Yeah.
So, but look at the way he went on the brakes afterwards. I don't, I think the mistake itself was an accident, but I certainly don't think him losing the lead was an accident.
I think,
because
the thing is...
We all saw on the back straight that it was the best place to be in second place.
Yeah, and I just think for me, I don't know. I said that games on the back straight, it's not really racing. This is Dave Mole right at the end of the race. Unfortunately, Dave, we saw this as well. And into the barrier, and he runs along the barrier coming out the other side there for Dave Mole. So problem. And then, of course, the final one of the evening, this one.
Side by side into the corner, and I think that one is a bit less Enquiries fault, to be honest.
Would you rotate that the other way round, though, and say that might have been Hightower trying to squeeze him on the inside? Because Stas is on the apex.
From here. To be honest, I did put the first one on Hightower. I think that one probably is a racing incident. I mean, it's kind of a bit of the unfortunate way that iRacing works. That if you make contact like that, the driver ahead generally gets spun around, and it's kind of one of those iRacing things, really.
Yeah, I think you might be right, but it's still the same two drivers coming together twice in one race.
They're not going to be sending each other Christmas cards in 3 weeks' time. That's for sure. But that's it for the Tower Racing Ring Runners this season. What a great season it's been. I've got to say, thoroughly enjoyable to be here every morning after the race, or most mornings after the race this season. 13 or 14 rounds this season. They've been very entertaining indeed. Great variety of cars, as always, and some good championship finishes this time round as well, which are good to see. But Rick Putnam and Dan Cosick, the champions this time round in the Pro and Am Championships.
Yeah, great job from Dan there as well in the AMs, and wondering whether or not he's going to move up to the pros. That would be quite interesting, obviously, as the AM winner. But we've had some great cars, do you know what I mean? And the Audi 90s, cars coming that we haven't seen for a while, P217s, the Mustang delivered as well. I think there were some great cars this season. Would I like to see others other than Arca and TCRs? Probably, but hey, it was still a great season in general.
There's a lot of discussion going on at the moment, by the way, as to what cars are going to be included next season. So make sure you join the Discord to find out. It will be in the video description of this broadcast. If you want to join the league, the session opens at 8 p.m. Eastern time, and you can enjoy the racing until the session end should be before 10 p.m. Eastern time. So if you've got somewhere to be, then you know that it's not going to run too late. So there you go. You can join in the Discord and maybe join in next season as well. There's plenty of cars to go at, even if you don't own them all. But big thanks to everyone for watching this season as well. It's been a pleasure to be here again. The Tower Racing Ring Runner is done for another season. I've been Ewan alongside James Parfitt. Big thanks to everyone who's been watching throughout the season. It's goodbye for now.